The Super Bowl is here, and the halftime show is set to be one of the most historic yet. Welcome, everybody. My name is Evans Eugene Osei from Work and Chill, and we are the leaders in workplace entertainment. And today we're talking about what Bad Bunny's moment on that stage means for the culture. I'm joined by author, speaker, and business leader Hady Mendez to unpack why this moment matters far beyond music. Hady, thank you so much for being here, and tell us, what does this Super Bowl moment mean for the Hispanic community?
I ain't gonna lie, it means everything to us. It has been such a hard year for our community. We have been the target of a lot of harm and suffering and pain this year. And him being on the biggest stage, him showcasing his talents, his skills in Spanish with other like Latino artists for sure that are going to be part of that stage with him. It means everything for the culture. And we are all excited for Bunny Bowl, for Bad Bunny Bowl. All of us. We're waiting. Everybody's cooking. Everybody's got the party they're going to, their outfits ready. We ready for him and we're ready to experience joy because we really need it.
Listen, I'm super excited for it, and I heard that you're a big Bad Bunny fan. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I guess I'll start off by saying that he got a shout out in the acknowledgement section of my recent book, Calladita No More. So I show him a little love there because his lyrics really like inspired me to like be very orgullosa or full of pride in my culture. And so, that's part of it. I would say, I went to his residency in Puerto Rico this past summer. I went with my cousin and her daughters, and we were crying, we were laughing, we were dancing, we did all the things. We were all had cute outfits. It was just a moment like no other. I never experienced anything like that before. And mind you, I have been a fan of Bad Bunny since January 5th of 2025 when that album dropped. I wasn't even like he wasn't even on my radar before then. But he has turned my world upside down, and I love him and what he represents for the culture. I happen to be Boricua, and as a fellow Boricua, he just makes me so proud. He's so humble. He doesn't forget where he's from, and it's just like he is a vibe like times a thousand. And I think everybody is really starting to see that.
Thank you for sharing your perspective there. And like Bad Bunny, when I think about him, he has built a global success pretty much without changing his language, his identity. And I think that's
Yes.
why this Super Bowl moment I think is so powerful. But what message does his presence on this stage send to people within the workplaces as well, especially about how we value diversity, inclusion, and people showing up authentically?
Yeah, I would say a couple of things. One is he is being successful as himself. He is not trying to be somebody else. He is not like selling out, which, in our culture is very important. Like you want people to show up fully, authentically. Like he remembers where he's like it's on the internet that he was like working at a grocery store 10 years ago. And he has no shame in that. Like, yes, that was him. He was doing music. He was uploading his stuff into SoundCloud a long time ago, but he believed in himself. Some people told him, "You're not gonna make it. Your music is not. That's not. Eso no pega, no va a pegar. It's not gonna be popular. That's not like the kind of thing that people are looking for." But he believed in himself and his music, and he just continued. He persevered. He stayed ready for when the opportunities came, and the opportunities are here. And you saw him in the Grammys when he cried when he won Album of the Year because it was like unbelievable that like someone who was bagging groceries 10 years ago is now like on the top of the world. But that's him. And he still doesn't forget who he is. And I think that gives us such a beautiful example of like being successful on your terms without sacrificing anything, but just like remaining fully who you are. And yeah, that's the lesson that I took away from his success and how he's showing up.
Wow, that was so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. And we often talk about representation in leadership. So how does seeing someone like him on the world's biggest stage influence how professionals think about taking up space and leading as their full selves?
I think that, he one of the things that he does really well is that he uses his platform. Like he understands that people are watching him, they're listening to him. He
Mm,
is an influencer.
mm,
He can change minds. He can have an impact on things. And I think the way he takes up space in that way and the way he holds himself accountable, and he has things that he feels really strongly about, and so he speaks out. He spoke out about against ICE just the other day at the Grammys, but that's not the first time he spoke out. And people who don't know Bad Bunny, and I didn't know him before 2025 of last year, like before January 2025, I didn't know him either, but he's done this before. He has spoke out against like people who were trying to speak out against trans people. He has spoke
mm.
out against domestic violence for women, against women. So like he does speak out. He's been very active on the political stage in Puerto Rico. Like um he speaks loudly and proudly about the things that matter to him. And he happens to be, I think, on the right side of history on a lot of this stuff. And so like I just feel like that's one way that he's really showing up, is that he's using his platform for good, in a positive way, in a way that is for the benefit of his people and his community. And he takes it seriously.
And I love that about him, especially being as a global music icon. What separates him from a lot of other icons is his willingness to dive into the things that matter for the culture, for the people, for the community.
Yes.
He doesn't shy away from, some of the politics, if you may, of the moment. He dives right in,
Yes.
and that's part of his legacy. And I think that that's something that really sets him apart.
And he's been doing it for a while. So I just want to like reiterate that, because I don't want people to think that he just started doing this. I think he does it more now because he has a bigger platform, but he's always been doing that. He's always been for the people and for the underestimated, underrepresented person, which I really love. And he's
Thank you for
fun
sharing.
also.
So on a personal level, how did you feel when you first heard that he would headline? And did that moment connect at all to your own journey as a Latina professional?
Yes. First of all, so much pride, so much orgullo, because that's one of our own, and we don't get platforms like that all the time. The Puerto Rican people are now on these big stages, in these world stages. That comes every once in a while, and so that's kind of a big deal. But it's also at the same time, it's not surprising. It's like he had like an amazing year. He kicked ass. He was selling records, breaking records. In his residency, he was, filling up the stadium. He had people traveling from all over the place. He's on this world tour now. He's coming to Spain. I'm in Spain right now. He's coming to Spain. I will see him in June again because I can't get enough of him. And that's the thing that I've heard so many interviews and so many people, and people go to concert after concert because they're like, the experience is different, but it's always good. And like you cry, you laugh, you dance, you connect with the people around you. He reminds you of like the culture and how important it is not only to connect with each other, but to remember like who was here before us and like how we're connected to those people too. So anyway, as a member of the diaspora, and there's a lot of us in the diaspora, I feel like Bad Bunny has brought us together, meaning with the mainland of Puerto Rico, more than anybody else in our lifetime. I don't think
Mhm.
we've ever felt so connected as a community until now, and Bad Bunny did that.
Wow. Thank you for that. I know your book, Calladita No More, is about finding voice and power as a Latina. And so do you see like parallels between your message and the way Bad Bunny shows up unapologetically in his identity?
1,000%. So I actually have done this thing, like created like a little workshop that I'm workshopping the workshop, but it's basically about the career tips that I give throughout the book, and then how they tie back to Bad Bunny. And like there's almost like a direct through line, like things like be clear on your values and purpose, trust yourself in what you know, take up space and use your voice, stay ready and be willing to take risks, know who you are and show up fully. Like all of that is in my book, and all of that is Bad Bunny. So not for nothing, but like I think he read the book before it came out or something, because he's like aligned. We are aligned, that Bunny and me, and I love that for us. And yeah, I just again, it just makes me love him more. But I just have to say, he's so much more than an artist. He is. a voice. He is like a representation of someone who just doesn't forget like where they're from. And I think that is like the most beautiful part. Like his humbleness, his humility, like the people that is attracts, people like what is it, like birds, bees to honey. Like that really is a very attractive quality that he brings. And so many people have been commenting that, especially people that are starting to get to know him now. But like, it's just, something about him. Plus, he did a Calvin Klein commercial. Have you seen this Calvin Klein commercial?
I haven't.
Oh, you got
Tell me about it.
okay. So he's like topless, and just like in underwear because it's like an underwear commercial. And he's like basically like dancing, not kind of dancing, but like the music is in the background and it's him and it's just like this energy about
Mm,
him. So he's like this like really good looking guy who's like really, really talented, who's like really, really humble, and also very smart and very knowledgeable on history, on world
mm,
history, his Puerto Rican history, musical history. So like he brings all of that together, and he's so intentional. Who he brings on his stages, he makes sure there's like Afro Latinos, queer Latinos, everybody from different countries, people like he's making sure like our musical instruments are there, like our dances, our like costumes, everything. Like he understands like our roots are
mm,
African. He
mm.
brings that into the fold. He's not forgetting anything. He's not leaving
Wow.
any detail out. And it's just, how informed he is. And you wouldn't think that like all he needs to do is like look good and sing. But like he's not. He's just smart and intentional and thoughtful. And he's the whole package, man. I just don't know how else to say it. He really, really is the whole package. And that's what makes him so special.
Wow, that was a mic drop moment right there. And why, like, as you're speaking and sharing that, I got very excited because I just actually bought your book and I'm super excited to get it. And before we dive into where people can actually purchase the book, I wanted to take a few moments here to learn a little bit more about the new book that you have released. If you can share a little bit about that, that'll be awesome.
Okay. The book is called Calladita No More, My Latina Journey and the Lessons That Shaped Me. And the book it's about me. So it's a memoir and it's about my life in corporate and sort of I guess my journey from the beginning, how it started off, how I silenced myself, how a lot of cultural norms and scripts kept me sort of shrinking and small, and how over time I learned to overcome that and to really shed some of the limiting beliefs that were holding me back and really, decide that I was going to take up space, that I was going to speak up, that I was going to say difficult things, that I was going to be a disruptive, truth telling person. And I wasn't going to worry about whether people liked me, but I was going to worry more about standing up for what was right. And so it's funny. I think the book is funny. Like I definitely say with my sense of humor. I wrote it how I talk. So if you like the way I talk or if you relate to the way I talk, that's how I wrote it. And I also I was the narrator for the audiobook. So the audiobook is a good is a like it's a, I recommend it because it sounds like, you're listening to like a 3.5 hour podcast for me. But I think it's very authentic. And like I said, I think a lot of it ties back to how you see Bad Bunny showing up. Like he is showing up like a leader, and he is the leader for our time, for the community, for our time. And so, yeah, he influenced me in a big way, and I'm happy with the book because the community, the people that I wrote it for, which are Latinas and women of color, they have really seen themselves in the book, and that was
Wow.
the goal for them to feel less alone and for them to feel seen and celebrated.
Amazing. I got my book, my copy on Amazon. Where can people purchase a copy?
Yep. Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, bookshop.org, Audible if they want to go for the audiobook. It's available in like all the formats, ebook, paperback, hardcover, and they can also shop at their local indie bookstore as well. I would highly recommend that.
Okay, amazing. Thank you for that. And just as a final thing here, who are you rooting for this Sunday for the Super Bowl? Is it the Patriots? Is it the Seahawks? Who do you have on your mind?
To borrow the words from Issa Rae, I will be rooting for everyone black and everyone Latine.
Woo! Listen, that is Hady Mendez. Listen, this was a phenomenal conversation. I'm really looking forward to reading your book as well. I'm looking forward to this Super Bowl, this halftime performance.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And let us know if you have any final words that you want to share with the audience as well.
I think Bad Bunny's saying it all. I just love his music, and if you don't know about his music yet, you're gonna find out, and you're in for the awakening of a lifetime. So everybody tune into that halftime show because it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fire.
Well, thank you so much, Howdy. This was phenomenal. And we're looking forward to this upcoming Super Bowl, but most importantly, this Bad Bunny Bowl. Thank you. Take
Yes.
care. And I love this conversation with you.
Ciao.
Take care.
Let's work and show.